I just got out of the cinemas from witnessing Creed 3 on the big screen, and I have some things that I want to talk about for this film, guys. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Let's go. What's going on, you guys? The Demigod back on Demigod ENT, bring you another movie review for Creed 3, of course, the third film in our Creed trilogy, a Rocky spinoff, starring Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed, Apollo Creed's son from the original Rocky films, as we got to see in the first two movies. But what makes this movie special is this is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and he chose to come in with a bang for his very first movie. He blew this movie out the park, man. I'm gonna be honest with you straight from the beginning. I really enjoyed myself with this film. This lived up to expectations, and let's dive more into that right now. So first things first, how did Michael B. Jordan do in this film? As we already know, the guy's a fantastic actor. He did his thing inside this movie. From beginning to end, we get an amazing performance out of him, and I really love the story that they chose to go with for this film. That story being Adonis Creed's childhood friend ends up getting out of prison after almost 2 decades. He gets back in touch with Creed, and along the way they begin to have a bit of a falling out over their past, and because of that we get an amazing friend turned foe rivalry inside of this film between Adonis Creed and our villain for this film, played by Jonathon Majors. Now, of course, he just finished starring as the villain of another movie just within the last month, that being Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. He played Kang in that film. Funny, both these guys coming from the Marvel universe. We get Killmonger versus Kang inside of this film is essentially what we end up getting here, and I gotta say, he did a fantastic job with this role, with this antagonist of the film. And while I would normally call him a villain, he sort of fits more into the anti-hero role because he's more of an underdog. You can almost find yourself rooting for Major's character at times, and I really appreciated that. You could definitely connect with everyone inside of this film, and these two guys did a fantastic job in these leading roles, man. I really loved everything they brought to this film, along with all the side characters inside of here. Tessa Thompson, of course, playing Creed's wife inside of here. She has her own music career going. We've seen their relationship flourish over the past few movies, and coming into this movie, they're raising a daughter together. So we get this new perspective between Adonis Creed and his wife and their whole beliefs on parenthood and them going through parenthood, and it makes for quite an interesting conversation inside of this movie, which, by the way, their daughter inside of this film happens to be deaf. I love the way that they handled that they handled her character, and I love the performance that the daughter brings to this movie, man. Such a great performance from the entire cast. I really mean that. And as I said, Michael B. Jordan did make his directorial debut with this movie. So how did he do as a director? He did a fantastic job his first time. He really did. I love how big and grand this movie feels. I love how true to the fight game this movie is, because as I say plenty of times on this channel, anytime I get the chance to, I'm a huge fight fan, man. So this movie was definitely catering towards me as an audience member. I loved the way that they portrayed the fight game, the media, the behind the scenes, how authentic, how real it felt, and it really felt like it was building up to an event that I was going to watch like in real life, like a true boxing match that was about to take place, and I loved that feeling that this movie gave me. Now, the fight scenes inside of here, they're fantastic, man. They really are. We get 3 really solid ones, along with, you know, some sparring and amazing training sequences that are a staple of this Rocky franchise. And man, the way that they handled the fight choreography, fantastic. Of course, as Michael B. Jordan talked about, if you weren't aware, he says that he was very influenced by anime in terms of how they would like to showcase the fight scenes inside of here, and I gotta say, it definitely lived up to that. You could 100% feel the anime influence here, the friend and foe rivalry, the fight scenes, the shot selection with the punches, the slow-mo. Man, it's amazing. It's stylish. I love it. I really do, man. This movie captured me from the very beginning. I felt like a little kid again while I was watching this film. And another big part inside of this film was the soundtrack. Now, this movie really managed to capture the feeling of LA, especially with both our main leads being from LA, at least their characters being from LA. So they even represent and make mention to like Crenshaw, if you know anything about that, Compton, and things like that, man. It was tight to see. In the soundtrack, they incorporated a lot of LA artists. You get throwbacks from Dr. Dre to more modern day hits from Nipsey Hussle, man. I loved the soundtrack in here. Very powerful stuff, man. They blew this out the water. They really did. I'm extremely satisfied with this movie. And with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the rating for Creed 3. So I give Creed 3 a 10 out of 10. It gets the 10 out of 10, the perfect score. I do believe that this is the best film to drop this year so far. Make sure you go out and see this movie. Make sure you go out and support this movie at the box office so we can get more of these films. I love the way that they wrapped up the Creed trilogy with this movie, and also how it's a little open-ended, how we can definitely see more Creed films in the future, similar to how they did with the Rocky films. Of course, there's plenty of those sequels, and I'm curious to see where Michael B. Jordan's going to go next with his directing. I'm definitely going to check out whatever film he ends up directing next, man. They did their thing with this one, they really did. And after this video, I do want to drop another video where I rank the Creed films. If you guys are interested in that, let me know down in the comment section down below. I might drop that for you guys next. But with that being said, guys, those are my thoughts on this film. Let me know your thoughts on Creed 3 down in the comment section down below. If you don't know what I do on Demigod ENT, do commentaries, reactions, and reviews. If you're interested in that, in the right place, man, hit subscribe. Hit the like button. I drop multiple videos a week on the channel, so you can expect that of me. And if you don't already know, I am the Demigod, the chosen one here on Demigod ENT. And I'm out of this thing, man. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.